Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Thursday, June 18th, 2026. A man alleged to be fleeing from a domestic violence incident was arrested nearby on suspicion of DUI. On Saturday at around 9:40 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a domestic violence incident near the intersection of Yucca Trail and Pioneer Town Road in Yucca Valley. Deputies identified the suspect as Jasper Allwine, 24. They say he grabbed the victim's wrist and threatened to shoot her. The victim called 911, but the suspect was gone when deputies arrived. Deputies say the victim had visible injuries to her wrist, but declined medical treatment. Deputies say they located Allwine's vehicle in the 4900 block of Vista Road. Deputies say that Allwine was found to have driven the vehicle while intoxicated. Allwine was taken into custody without further incident. Jasper Allwine was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence, making criminal threats, and DUI. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $50,000 bail. Last night, the Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors met in regular session. They approved the budget worksheet for fiscal year 2026-2027, discussed a recent meeting with County Supervisor Don Rao regarding Covington Park tree maintenance, and reviewed potential retirement plans for district employees. Reporter Gabriel Hart has this recap.
For years, the MVCSD has hired a sequence of arborists to mitigate the dangers of falling branches in Covington Park, yet with high winds and dry weather, it costs the district thousands of dollars in annual maintenance. General Manager Brittany Chavez reported she met with 3rd District Supervisor Don Rao and her field rep Glenn Harris, who assessed the situation last week. And this Friday, Chavez and Park Maintenance Buddy Stogner will meet with an arborist referred by Rao with the goal to, quote, fix the initial problem, not just the falling branches. Fire Chief Lindley reported the department continues to be fully staffed with 6 full-time personnel and recently recruited 5 more reserve firefighters. Lindley said there will also be further testing for future positions that may become available as they move through their current growth process. For district employees, including fire staff, the board discussed introducing a 457B plan, an employer-sponsored retirement account available to local government workers. Because the plan requires employers to match each amount an employee wants to put in their retirement, the board agreed it may take more growth before the district could afford it. However, Lindley stated the largest reason they have difficulty retaining firefighters is because of the district's lack of retirement options. So the board agreed to table the item until next meeting, where they will revisit hiring an HR company. Finally, the board approved the 2026-27 budget worksheet with items such as legal expenses, apparatus repairs, and tree maintenance increasing costs over $98,000 from last fiscal year. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.
The Twentynine Palms Tourism Business Improvement District, or TBID, board meets in regular session today. The TBID provides funding for events within Twentynine Palms as a means to boost tourism in the city. Their agenda for today includes a review of an updated draft of their grant application guidelines. Among the changes being considered is a new requirement that organizers provide matching funding up to 25% of the grant that they receive. The updated guidelines also include a list of local venues that are pre-approved to host events. The TBID will also select budget subcommittee members. The TBID meets today at 3:30 p.m. at 29 Palms City Hall, located at 6136 Adobe Road in 29 Palms. The June meeting of the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter Committee, set for this evening, has been rescheduled. An announcement says the meeting was moved due to committee member availability. The Yucca Valley Animal Shelter Committee will now meet on July 2nd. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, and joining us with details on the celebration in the city of 29 Palms is online news editor Robert Hayden.
Juneteenth is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. The holiday's name was first used in the 1890s, and it specifically refers to June 19th, 1865, the day when Major General Gordon Granger ordered the final enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas at the end of the American Civil War. To celebrate the federal holiday locally, there's going to be 2 flag-raising ceremonies. The city of 29 Palms will hold a Juneteenth flag-raising ceremony tomorrow morning at City Hall at 8 a.m. Then the Women of Color Global are holding a Juneteenth celebration with a flag-raising ceremony with City Manager Kevin Cole at 11:45 a.m. at Knott Sky Park. Mayor Pro Tem Octavia Scott will lead a welcome message at 12:30, which then leads to over 6 hours of music, dancing, and celebration. There's going to be a free community raffle giveaway at 2:30 and 6 o'clock, along with food and vendors all day. We'll have a flyer with a complete rundown of this story on our website. Government offices, banks, and the post office will be closed in observance of the federal holiday. Previously, Juneteenth was one of the holidays that allowed free entry into our national parks. However, President Donald Trump removed Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Jr. Day from the list of holidays that grants free entry and replaced them with his birthday. In direct response, California has opened up free admission to over 30 historical state parks. A federal judge has also ordered national parks to restore signage that President Trump had removed that referred to the United States' history with slavery. You can find the full schedule for tomorrow's Juneteenth celebration at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
Morongo Basin Unity Home, established in 1982, is dedicated to education and the prevention of domestic violence. Since then, over 35,000 clients have utilized their services. They offer emergency shelter for victims of domestic violence and their families, transitional housing, and a wide array of outreach services. On the Z107.7 Up Close show tomorrow, Unity Home Executive Director Susanna Barnett and Prevention and Education Coordinator Marcos Escalera will talk to host Gary Daigneault about the important work they do for the community. It's all about Unity Home tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on the Z107.7 Up Close show. And finally, Fortress, an original comedy by Sherry Ann Greer, made its debut at Theater Twentynine last weekend, running weekends through June 28th. Art and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas was in attendance and filed this review.
A village in riot, leadership ill-equipped to understand, let alone resolve the root issue, and external threats surfacing from all directions. Sound familiar? In 1994, playwright Sherry Ann Greer cut her teeth on her debut play, Fortress, at the Melrose Theater in Los Angeles. Written under the shadow of the 1992 Watts riots, the absurd comedy farce transports its audience to the mythical village of Bromleyshire, a place teetering on the brink of chaos. The cast of Fortress delivers performances that are both engagingly goofy and endearingly quixotic. Michael D. Simpson embraces the role of Lord Bromley with a delightful blend of arrogance and obliviousness. Rebecca Ossier's portrayal of Lady Magdalena is equally compelling. Her character, heavily pregnant and desperately seeking solutions that don't require too much effort, is brought to life with a mixture of wit and urgency. Anna Lacazio, making her stage debut as Kate, Magdalena's maid and confidant, brings a grounded perspective amidst the absurdity, providing both comedic relief and insightful commentary on the unfolding events. Stormy Ingram is Charity, the eccentric witch-adjacent character, embraces the character's quirky nature with vigor. J.T. Eberhardt's portrayal of the conniving Marshal is nuanced and compelling. Kevin A. Hales as the sinister Duke is commanding and chilling, effectively portraying the external threat that looms over the village. While Fortress is undeniably an absurd comic farce, it also resonates with contemporary audiences through its exploration of leadership and accountability. Fortress is running weekends through June 28th. Tickets can be purchased at theater29.org. Production is supported by a grant by Visit 29. For the full review, check out our story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7, this is arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas.
That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.